Welcome to the special show of News Karnataka, Womenia, the Woman of Impact. Hi, this is Ananya Hegde. Today we have with us a soft skill trainer, Mrs. Bharathi Shevgoor. Welcome to you, ma'am.
Thank you, Ananya. Happy to be here with you.
Now let's have a VT of Mrs. Bharathi.
Bharathi Shevgoor. Mrs. Bharathi Shevgoor has attended St. Agnes College, Mangalore for BCom and pursued her MA in English at the age of 40 from IGNOU and MPhil from Alagappa University. She is now pursuing her PhD in English from Srinivasa University. Her career began as an HR trainer at AIM Insights, the HRD Group, Mangalore, from where she underwent the training as a trainer in the spoken English and later as a trainer in the leadership development. She served as a master facilitator in spoken English and human resource development who trained different groups of persons in communication and leadership development for the 3 decades. In her career as a learning and development facilitator, she traveled extensively in the country, training the college students, teachers, professionals in employability skills, public speaking, team building, and leadership. She honed her writing and, more importantly, her editing skills as she edited the text of the training materials that were produced by the training institutions, where she served not only as a master facilitator training trainers but also assistant director for 17 years. Presently, she is the editor of Tarjani Communications Private Limited, a leading public relations company of Mangalore, where she is not only a copywriter and the text editor but is mainly engaged in writing coffee table books. She has authored 3 coffee table books and 3 more are in the making. The first is The New Mangalore Port Trust, second is on 50 Temples of Goa, and the third is 4 animals, the king cobra, leopard, tiger and Indian elephant.
To start off with, ma'am, how interesting was your childhood? Could you please recall or recollect 2 to 3 memories?
Okay.
Yeah.
My childhood was in Mangalore. I was born in Mangalore, brought up in Mangalore, and have lived in Mangalore ever since, though for the last, let's say, 10 years, I've been traveling to live with my son in USA, maybe for periods of 3 to 4 months, once every alternate year. But otherwise, my childhood was in Mangalore, a simple Mangalore of maybe 2 ambassador cars and a few city buses. I enjoyed being in that simple Mangalore where it was very safe to just walk out on your own and be with your friends on the roads. It was not the Mangalore of today. So that is my memory of having taken long walks during the summer holidays in Morgan's Gate, where I spent my childhood, where I was brought up, is still fresh in my mind. I love that area because for 18 years I lived there before I got married and then shifted to Mannagudda, which was a whole new ball game for me. You can imagine, in the same city, living in another area felt like it was a different city. So Morgan's Gate and my walks there are a very beautiful memory for me.
Okay, that's really nice. I think only Mangalore picture you have given me. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, right. How was Bharati as a student?
As a student, I'm sorry to say that I was very, very studious and earnest. Why do I say sorry? Because I feel I should have had more fun.
Right.
But I was always worried about whether I should ace the exams. I was a student who stood first in my first exam in the first standard and I never looked back. Somehow it exerts a pressure on you to come up, to be there always and not to fall down. But it's not easy. There'll be other contenders, you see. So I feel that my attempt to be teacher's pet and to do everything in the right manner,
Perfection.
yeah, to be perfect in what I was doing, might have taken away from some of the fun I could have had.
Right.
I don't regret what I did. I only regret not having had more fun. So as a student, I was earnest, as I said, class leader, standing first and doing everything right.
Okay, I think we have a very studious student here.
I used to be. I'm using the past tense.
Okay.
I made up for it in college.
Okay, that's nice. Ma'am, after that you will start writing.
Yes.
Correct. So, the love towards writing, I can say probably. How did it all start? The love towards language also. Yeah. Please tell me.
Ananya, at a very young age, I understood that I was good at languages, because not only could I speak my mother tongue well, like all of us can do, but I could also speak Tulu well, I could speak Kannada well, and of course I could speak English well enough, because it was the language of teaching that we had. I was brought up in a house where reading was very important, and not only reading of your study materials of school, but stories. So my father used to bring in magazines. There was this magazine called Sudha and Mayura.
Okay.
Kannada magazines, and when as a 6-year-old, when my father asked me, what do you want for your birthday, I said I want a book.
Okay.
Books were not easily available. I remember going to the Central Market, which has been pulled down now. There used to be a shop on the left side where these magazines, comics used to be hung. I pointed that to him and said, I want that. He seemed a bit surprised at first that a kid would want a book rather than a toy. But for me that was important. I think this habit of reading literature was inculcated in childhood for me, and only with reading can you write, right?
Correct.
You can't simply take to writing.
Definitely.
You need to read, you need to understand that there's a big world beyond what you are seeing around you. So I think that inculcated the love of languages, reading, and of course now writing.
Okay. I think multilingual lady.
I wouldn't say multi. I think everyone in South Canara is a multilingual person.
Yeah, true.
We are more multilingual than many other, let's say, districts.
Right.
We in Mangalore know at least 3 languages fluently. But I understood that I had an affinity for languages. That is something I understood. Because I used to score higher marks in Kannada, which was not the language of instruction, than the Kannada medium students. The highest in Kannada used to be from an English medium class. So it made me understand I can deal with language. It's all right. I should be able to do well. That gave me an understanding, and I was happy to be in that.
Okay, that's nice. Yeah. Ma'am, now that you are almost completing some 17 to 18 years in skill development for the students and other people. So why do you think skill is really important for a person?
Look, Ananya, the world is evolving, changing every other day.
True.
So we might think that, okay, I have done an MA in English literature, but that's just an examination. I need to upskill constantly to keep up with the changes in my field. I feel every person needs to upskill.
True.
Whether you are even, let's say, a cleaner in an office, you need to know the latest tools that are available to do your job well.
Right.
Likewise, whether you're an engineer or a lawyer, the latest cases that have come up, the latest construction that is happening, what's happening in your field is very important. So you need to work hard to keep up with the changes technologically and otherwise that are happening. People's tastes change. So our skills should be developed if we are to remain on top of the game.
Definitely.
We can't really say, I've done this, so now I've learned this, so I'm doing this. If you're very comfortable doing something, Ananya, you have to question yourself, why am I so comfortable?
Right.
I need to learn more.
Right.
Upskilling is very important.
Do you really mean that you should be out of the comfort zone?
Yes, out of the comfort zone is a hackneyed phrase now. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't be happy with what you're doing. Of course, we have to feel happy. But I guess constantly looking at yourself and asking yourself if you can live up to your optimum capacity, if you can do what you can do, if you can research into yourself and say, I can do better than this, somebody else is doing this, let me see what I can do. I think upskilling is very important.
Very true. I think upgrading,
yes, upgrading,
similar word,
yes,
is very important for anybody to be in the race.
Yes, to be in there. I remember Amir Khan's that film 3 Idiots where he says life is a race or something like that.
True.
So we don't need to be constantly running, of course,
right,
but we do need to proceed, right? You can't be in one place.
I understand. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, now that you have a lot of experience with the students, I can say, in terms of skill sets, being skilled and getting upgraded and all that. So, what is your opinion on the present generation? Where do they stand in the skill sets?
Okay. The present generation are technologically very savvy. That is something I can say, because they are keeping up with the changes that are happening, rather than people of my generation who find it sometimes a little difficult to keep up with what is happening, especially in e-commerce and things like that.
True.
Yet I feel that the attention span of the younger generation is reducing because of the various distractions around. So a little needs to be looked into in that area, where you understand that you need to work hard at something to be really good at it. You need to be an expert at things, Ananya. Working towards expertise is important, and it may not be very interesting. You may need to repeat what you're doing many times. You can't be doing new things all the time, or you can't be looking out for very interesting stuff every other day. If you get once in a while, if you get an interesting job, an interesting project, I think we should be happy with that, and not expect every other day to really be highly interesting. It doesn't work that way.
Very true. Yes, I think being focused makes a sense.
Yes, being focused and being open to learning. And of course, understanding that there'll always be peer pressure around you, not to take that peer pressure, but keep your eyes open. That's important.
That's very true, and I think, as you said, getting upgraded on time,
getting upgraded,
be open for the learning and all that is too much is important. Ma'am, as a trainer, so you're training the students. So do you have any keys to success? Okay, these are the qualities a trainer must have, something like that.
Like anything, training is also a skill. I feel that as trainers, we're not with the students continuously like being a lecturer. When I'm a college lecturer, I have them for a year or maybe for 6 months with me, for one semester. So if I've left out something, I can always make up for it, compensate the next day. But as a trainer, we are with our trainees for a short period of time, Ananya. That is why I feel we need to be able to deliver what we are delivering, what we plan to deliver, the learning outcomes, in a very skilled manner, in a very focused manner. You should be able to edit your thoughts. You can't simply linger as a trainer. So that's one thing that is there. You have to upskill constantly. If you're giving, let's say, if you're giving 3 things, you have to know at least 10 things. To be able to deliver 3, you have to know 10. Because you have to give it in a small span of time. You have to go deep when you're training.
What are the ways that you get upskilled? Maybe by reading books or through internet or whatever it is.
I get upskilled, first of all, of course, by reading. And then these days there are podcasts. I listen to podcasts. I also listen to these stand-up comedians, not only for entertainment, but to understand the thoughts of the younger generation many times. I also find it very interesting to be with my students and to catch up with their careers, so that I know what is happening in the professional field as well. And many times I'm very surprised at what they tell me is what is happening in the IT fields. Because Mangalore is a small, compared to bigger cities, ours is not a big city. So there are a limited number of opportunities here. My students go out. Maybe they're in Bangalore, they're in Delhi, or they go abroad. And I speak to them about what's happening in their lives. I listen to what they're saying and I understand. So I think learning comes from knowing what is new.
That's very true. I think one needs to have that mindset. That open mindset for the learning really.
And there has to be humility to know that I can't know everything. It's not possible to know everything. The world is a big place. So listening is important, Ananya.
Very much. Yes, ma'am. Yes. Ma'am, I'm very curious to know, because I think this is where we lack, some people lack, that how to handle the criticism. So how do you handle the criticism?
How do you handle criticism? Actually, Ananya, I wish I got more criticism. Now what is happening in my field is, I'm a writer now. I write coffee table books for the firm that I serve, Tarjani Communications. I write communication. requirements and the taglines and other things that are there in an ad agency. But my specialization is writing coffee table books.
Okay.
Now I wish I had feedback and input on what I write. There aren't too many people who have the patience to read text now. You know how we are. Our attention span is very low.
Yes.
So I seek feedback, evaluation or criticism, and if I get positive feedback, when somebody who wishes me well and wishes I would be better, I actually welcome it, because without feedback we won't improve.
Very true. Yes.
And we have to learn, we have to understand that only from somebody else's point of view will I get something that with which I can better myself.
Yes, definitely.
Otherwise I'll think I'm writing wonderfully because the client is very happy.
Yeah.
The client is happy with me. But I need to keep questioning myself continuously.
Correct.
How I can
feedback
do
is a one format. That's how we grow.
Of
from,
course,
right?
yes, of course. And my writing shouldn't seem the same from one book to the other.
True. You need to have the
I
diversity.
need to have diversity.
Yeah.
I need to be a little different. I need to sound more fresh and interesting, right, with every book.
Very true.
So I welcome criticism from
Yes,
that
ma'am.
point.
That's really a nice quality, I can say.
Yeah, it helps. We can't survive otherwise.
True. Ma'am, apart from your writings, your trainings, you are also a trained singer, right? So could you please give one or two lines out of it?
Okay. When you say trained singer, I have trained for 3 years.
Okay.
And my biggest regret was that I did not start at a young age, Ananya.
Okay.
It's only in the last 5 years I have had the opportunity, before COVID struck, of training for 3 years Hindustani classical. I have a ear for singing, though I don't consider that I have a pleasant voice. But I have a ear for listening to the rags and understanding them. If you ask me to sing a line, I would say Rag Yaman transforms itself it lends itself to many Hindi film songs.
Okay.
So many songs have been based on Rag Yaman.
Okay.
If I can hum a little. Niregamadhani sa sanida pamagare sa nirega gamapa magare sa आई हूँ मेरी जिंदगी में तुम बहार बनके, मेरे दिल में यूं ही रहना है, मेरे दिल में यूं ही रहना, तुम प्यार प्यार बनके, निरगमधनी सा सानिदा पमगरे सा.
Wow, that's beautiful. You have a very, I can say very soft voice.
Yeah. I don't have a strong voice,
Correct.
but as I said, I wish I had trained earlier.
Yes, definitely. Yes, ma'am. Ma'am, apart from all this, you are also the part of Toastmasters. So I'm very curious to know that did it really help your career being a part of Toastmaster?
Ananya, being in Toastmasters helped me not only in my career, it also helped me hone my own thoughts. And it empowered me with the ability to edit my thoughts. I am the editor in my institution. When people given 3 pages of matter, I have to convert it into 1/4 of a page with all the important points there.
Right.
In Toastmasters, we are required to give different kinds of speeches, and we have to research for those speeches. The speeches are only 7-minute speeches, 5 to 7 minutes. Mostly there are some longer speeches, but we look for different ways to deliver these speeches. The body language has to be there, the thoughts have to be there, the subjects have to be interesting. I've been in Toastmasters for nearly 18 years now.
Wow. Okay.
So you can imagine the number of speeches I would have given and the number of topics I would have covered.
Right.
So whether it is making fun of your own spouse at home, there are speeches where we're supposed to be humorous.
Right.
So we make fun of our own spouses.
Okay.
And that's a nice thing to do.
Yeah.
So we learn how to be humorous. We learn how to give a report, and we learn how to edit our thoughts to make them very specific and focused and deliver it in a manner that's interesting to the listener.
Yes.
So Toastmasters did help me very much, though I was a trainer when I joined Toastmasters.
True. I think it will definitely change you as a human being. Probably.
Yes, because we listen to many other speeches, right? We listen to 7-minute speeches. They are the thoughts of people. People share things in Toastmasters meetings on the days when they're supposed to give speeches that we might not get to listen outside.
True, very true.
That's why in all ways of life, Toastmasters has helped me, no doubt about
That's
that.
really nice of you, ma'am. Ma'am, it is the question to everyone, I can say. How do you manage your family time versus your training time? Do you have any support system?
Yeah, I think the answer to this question lies in understanding how much your family has contributed to your career and to your desire to develop, Ananya. All of us have 24 hours and we wish to apportion them in a particular way. But if that cooperation and that motivation doesn't come from the family, I don't think it will be as easy as if it came. So my husband, Vishnu Shevgoor, he's an artist too. He understands the need to develop and he has always encouraged me. My son and some other family members that I had with me, they understood my need to grow. And I had to travel. Yes, I had to travel for 17 years. I traveled all over India except maybe Kashmir and the Northeast. Training different students, different groups of people actually, mostly students. I train them in employability skills. So unless there is cooperation from home, that travel would never have been possible. So I'm grateful for the cooperation that I got.
I think everybody needs that support. One support, to conquer the world, I can say.
And I use every forum to acknowledge this.
Definitely, yes, ma'am. Ma'am, how do you wish to contribute to the society?
Ananya, my contribution to society would be empowering the girl child. I'm very happy to do that. I know that it looks as if all women around us are feminists and empowering type. But there are many who need a lot of help, they need a lot of support, which they may not voice. I think we need to do that. And empowering women is important not only for women. If women are empowered, the entire society gets empowered. The entire society will develop, will evolve. So I would search out for any girl child who needs help. Not that I won't help others, boys. It doesn't mean that. It only means that I understand as a woman that every girl needs support.
Yes, definitely. I think every girl needs a support just to, I can say, come out of that comfort zone.
Because we have lived in a patriarchal society, and though some things have changed, in some areas not much has changed.
I understand. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Now that we have had a serious conversation, now let's have a rapid fire round.
Okay, rapid fire. All right.
Okay. So the first question is, what makes you laugh?
What makes me laugh? When people make fun of themselves and speak about themselves in a very self-deprecating manner, or when young kids complain about their parents, it's with such love that they complain that I feel like laughing when I listen to them, because there's a combination of love and cribbing.
Correct, complaining also. Yeah, definitely. Ma'am, what is that one childish thing you still enjoy doing?
I still enjoy irritating my son over rising costs. If I tell him something costs, vegetables cost 100 rupees, he will say, "Oh, Amma, why are you looking at money?" Because the standards of younger people are different. They live in a different world. So I enjoy irritating him.
Okay. Ma'am, which is that one Konkani food that you crave all the time?
I crave fried stuff that Konkanis do excellently. If anything rises above the ground, grows above the ground, a Konkani will cut it up and fry it. So I enjoy the fried stuff that Konkani people, the locals do.
Okay, that's nice. Ma'am, your favorite pastime?
My favorite pastime is sitting with a cup of chai maybe
Okay.
and listening
Huh.
to either my students who have come to visit me or just talking to some friend whom I meet. Even at home, my pastime is after dinner conversation with my husband, just talking.
Okay, that's nice. Yeah. Ma'am, what motivates you the most?
What motivates me the most is the desire to grow. If there is a new skill that I have to learn, I feel something being fired up inside me.
Okay.
I want to learn that, and if there is a possibility of doing it, it motivates me.
Okay. Ma'am, which is that one subject you did not like at all in school?
In school, I wish my history teacher would have made the lessons more interesting.
Okay.
I would think it's just a litany of facts that was presented to me, but now I love history.
Okay.
But in school, I never used to like
Right. Ma'am, one cartoon character that you wish to be?
One cartoon character I still enjoy is the Tom of Tom and Jerry. I enjoy that. I enjoy the foolishness that he displays, and the fact that he's still friends with Jerry.
Correct, yeah. Okay. Ma'am, what is that one proudest work accomplishment so far?
I'm very proud of the coffee table books that I have written. The first one was on New Mangalore Port Trust. The second was on 50 temples of Goa. And the third was on 3 wild animals. So
Okay.
you can, 4 wild animals rather. So you can imagine the variety. I'm proud of these things that I have written, researched and written.
Okay. Ma'am, if you have to say sorry and thank you to anyone.
Ananya, saying sorry and thank you are very personal things.
Right.
I don't know if this forum is something that I would really use to say sorry or thank you. Sorry, definitely very, very personal. And thank you, of course, to the entire universe, which has given me so much to be grateful for.
Okay, that's nice. Ma'am, how do you feel about your life right at this moment?
At this moment, I feel I'm in a sweet spot. I feel grateful that I still feel motivated to study more. I have registered for a PhD at age 60.
Wow.
So that makes me feel grateful that I had the opportunity to do it at this age. So I'm happy.
That's nice.
I'm grateful. That's
Yeah.
the spot I am now.
Definitely. We wish you good luck for that as well.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. Ma'am, one last message to the viewers of News Karnataka through this platform.
Yeah. To the viewers of News Karnataka, if you've been faithful and loyal to News Karnataka, you will know that they are people who look out for the best in Karnataka and let's say outside too, and give out good messages. I'm very happy to be with them. And for ladies, I would say you need to be more assertive. You need to do what you want. Look out for what you want and be ambitious.
Thank you so much, ma'am. I think you were really energetic, and you mentioned that you have opted for PhD,
Yes,
right? At
yes.
this, at the age of 60. I
Yes,
think that's
yes.
really grateful and motivating as well, inspiring as well. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you, Ananya. It was a pleasure to be with you.
Same here. Thank you. Thank you for watching this episode. Catch me in the next episode of Womenia, the Woman of Impact. Until then, bye-bye. Please do like, share and subscribe the channels of News Kannada and News Karnataka of Facebook and YouTube. Thank you.